Hello, I'm Julian Northbrook from doingenglish.com. An interesting question that came up recently, a pretty common one. Is it useful to learn just vocabulary, that is, memorize more and more and more vocabulary words? And if so, how can I actually remember them when I speak? Okay, so we've got two very different questions here, and the answer to both parts is actually quite contradictory. It does, however, depend on what you mean by useful. Are we talking about, are the words themselves useful, or are we asking, is it useful for improving my proficiency, my fluency in English? Now, in terms of the former, yes, of course, all else being equal, knowing more words is better than knowing fewer words. All words are used somewhere, and all words are useful in the right context. Therefore, it is, there's no disadvantage to knowing a lot more vocabulary as opposed to not very much. Now, the problem is in terms of, will this actually help you to progress your proficiency in the language, speak more fluently? Well, no, probably not. In that sense, it's not really that useful. People tend to think, oh, I've got a fluency problem, therefore all I need to do is I'll just memorize more and more and more and more vocabulary. My head goes blank when I'm speaking. I just need to learn more words. Out come the lists. They memorize them, they go into conversation, and they're gone. Completely vanished. What they don't actually realize, however, is not only is just memorizing lists of vocabulary doing absolutely nothing to improve their fluency, it's actually probably making it worse rather than better, because we don't speak in individual words. With very, very rare exception, a native speaker is not speaking in single words. Rather, we speak in chunks of words, larger blocks of words. And what is important is not how much vocabulary you have, but how well you combine what you've got. Not only this, but if you are finding that you don't speak very naturally, therefore you are learning more specific words or synonyms or different ways of saying things, well, that also is the wrong way to approach the problem. It's probably not that you need more vocabulary in order to speak naturally, but again, that you don't know how to combine what you've got into native-like chunks of English. So in that sense, just memorizing more words, not that useful at all, which brings us really to the second part of the question, which obviously is linked to this. In terms of why do you forget the words? Well, it's because you're focused on learning words. Whereas native speakers and the way that memory works, we don't actually use words really at all. What we're actually doing is speaking in larger chunks of English, blocks of words that are linked, combined in the network of our memory. Human memory is not designed to take random individual points of information and actually remember it. It's simply not how it works. Human memory is a network full of lots of points of information all connected together. And that is what's important. The more connections you've got between all the points of information, the tighter the mesh of the network is, the more you will remember things, the more you will be able to recall things and actually use them in conversation. Now, when I'm working with my clients, there are quite a few exercises that we use to properly integrate the language we're learning into the larger network of our English. But the quickest and easiest way is, one, to be learning in context, not from lists, and two, to be learning in chunks, not individual words, or, well, grammar rules. That's not really the topic of this video, though. If you're not too sure how to do that, don't worry. Head over to doingenglish.com/free training and I will teach you all the nuts and bolts that you need to get started with actually improving your English. Right, this is me, Julian Northbrook, signing out. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.